So you have studied Ayurvedic medicine and these years take a major part of your life. Once you become a doctor, you are committed to healing. And to be a great healer, learning has to become a never-ending pursuit in your life. So doctor, what are you doing to continue this learning?
A very warm welcome to all the doctors, students and practitioners for this AACHAARA Rasayana.
Learning experience for everybody, even for me also, isn't it? So there is no end for learning. So that's what actually I believe.
Today's subject you are given is psoriasis.
Clinical dermatology.
If you use Vamana on yourself first, then you will believe that it will help.
Spending few hours with a scholar is equivalent to months of time spent reading books. In the name of AACHAARA Rasayanam, we are bringing excellent minds on Ayurveda with rich expertise in clinical practice. The purpose of this initiative is to guide and uplift the confidence and clinical expertise of every Vaidya. There is a saying, if you cannot be a king, the next best thing is to become a healer, because you are changing people's life, and that is the power of a Vaidya. AACHAARA Rasayanam is an Ayurvedic practitioners only CME program initiated by Sitaram Ayurveda's 100th year celebration through Sitaram Research Foundation. Sitaram started its healing journey in the year of 1921. Being a pioneer in Ayurveda, Sitaram extends the healing powers through a state-of-art GMP certified manufacturing plant, government approved R&D laboratory, super specialty Ayurveda hospital, and an NABH accredited Panchakarma retreat. By attending AACHAARA Rasayanam, you will get the opportunity to get valuable insights on clinical practices, various methods and techniques prevalent in the Ayurvedic medical fraternity from the best scholars. You will be receiving the show notes, certificates, webinar recordings, and the latest updates on your email and WhatsApp. To receive latest updates and newsletters, please send a text to 89434 41881. For more details, log on to our website www.sitaramayurveda.com. AACHAARA Rasayanam. Great practitioners invest in learning.
Good evening, everybody. Today we are having our 70th episode of AACHAARA RASAAYANAM, conducted by Sitaram Ayurveda Research Foundation. And this webinar series is being conducted as a part of the 100th year celebration of Sitaram Ayurveda Group. AACHAARA RASAAYANAM is basically meant to enhance the wisdom of doctors, taking the practice of doctors to the next level. Today, our webinar topic is exploring Raktavaha Srotovikara from the background of Vidhishoniteeyam. Today, we will be discussing various areas like there will be an in-depth analysis of Raktavaha Srotas and the manifestation of pathologies, the clinical pearls to differentiate the spectra of Raktapitta, Pandu, and Vatarakta, the method to zero in on the gold standard drugs and procedures, experiences from the clinical life of a distinguished academic. And today, we are blessed to have the very renowned personality in Ayurveda, in Indian Ayurveda, as our speaker, Dr. Shri KrishnaSharma Khandel. He is a postgraduate in Ayurveda, PhD in Ayurveda, FRAV, fellow of WHO in mental health, and he was the former professor of Roga Nidanam, NIA Jaipur, and currently he is the director, Arogya Laxmi Ayurveda Healthcare, Jaipur. So first of all, I would like to take this opportunity to welcome Sir, Dr. Sri KrishnaSharma Khandel, Sir, to this program. Welcome to you, Sir.
Welcome, sir. Thank you very much.
Today, we are having our respected Managing Director of Sitaram Ayurveda, Dr. D. Ramanathan, who is presiding this program. So welcome to you, sir. And today, as the moderator of this program, we are having Dr. Rahul R. Nair, Associate Professor of Roga Nidanam, Ashtangam, Ayurveda Vidyapeetham, Palakkad, Kerala. So welcome to you, Dr. Rahul.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Today, we are having our participant numbers gradually coming up. We are expecting around about 350 participants today also. So I welcome all the participants. Experienced people are there, as well as the new aspirants of Ayurveda, even the postgraduates and internees of Ayurveda are there as the participants. So I welcome you one and all on behalf of Sitaram Ayurveda to this 70th episode of AACHAARA RASAAYANAM. Thank you very much. Over to Dr. Rahul R. Nair for beginning the program. Thank you very much.
Respected chair of this session, Dr. Ramanathan, sir. The august speaker of this session, Professor KrishnaSharma Khandel, sir. Ragesh Chiran, sir. All the team members representing Sitaram, as well as the esteemed participants who are assembled here for the upcoming vibrant discussion. I welcome all of you to this session. It is usually said that a communication with or a conversation with an experienced physician is equivalent to reading many books. So here we are going to experience such a thing now. We are having a topic which is currently very relevant also. We all know that the spectra of diseases belonging to Raktavaha Srotas is on a rise. From the Pandu Roga or the Raktapitta or Vatarakta, all those spectrum disorders or their contemporary modern equivalences like the purpura and associated bleeding disorders, the autoimmune joint disorders, from simple iron deficiency anemias to the very complex diagnosis like spherocytosis or hemolytic anemias, all are becoming very common nowadays. So the challenge faced by an Ayurveda clinician, usually it comes from a spectra of patients who will approach us after going through rigorous modern biochemical evaluations. So when they come to us, whether shall we follow those a technology-based diagnosis, or shall we get into the realm of the perennial wisdom of Ayurveda and tap so much resources lying there in the form of concepts as well as medications? So to hear from that, we need the experience of a clinician and also a distinguished academic who had seen a lot of cases through the rigorous concepts of Charaka Samhita. So here with us is Professor KrishnaSharma Khandel sir, renowned academic all through India, also with an international standing. He had been a WHO fellow in mental health and was working in Austria, and had a rich experience in guiding numerous PhD as well as MD dissertations. So his gigantic standing in the theoretical aspect as well as the practical lively clinical sessions will help us a lot. So I invite all of you to be very attentive in these sessions. And also I just request Sri KrishnaSharma Khandel sir to take over this session, to have his words with us. And after his presentation, we will have a very vibrant communication with the sir in the form of a question answer session too. So I welcome you, sir. I request you, sir, to take over the session and have your presentation.
Okay. Thank you, Rahul.
Thank you, sir.
Very vast introduction. And you also invited me to face many questions of the students and practitioners. I will try my best to fulfill the all basic fundamental problems what we have regarding Rakta and Shonit. Thank you, Sitaram Ayurveda, for inviting me in this privileged AACHAARA RASAAYANAM. This is the 70th episode of the AACHAARA RASAAYANAM. And I go through the purpose of this AACHAARA RASAAYANAM, that is very high and very noble cause. And I am very sorry I could not spare myself earlier for this platform. But sure, I am very much, I express my gratitude to Sitaram Ayurveda and Ashtamagam Ayurvedic College and Professor Rahul Nair, especially for inviting me this session. Thank you very much. Today's topic is Raktavaha Srotas and related diseases. But before we go into the details of the Raktavaha Srotas and concerning diseases, I think the Kerala is the house of real Ayurveda. And you are all known with the, what is in Vagbhat says in Ashtanga. But I think some of you are unknown with the fundamental chapter for the Raktavaha Srotas, that is Vidhishoniteeyam in Charak Sutristan 24. And this is very mysterious that how many physicians are working on this concept, I don't know. But this is the very basic concept, very fundamental problem. It starts with the Raktavaha Srotas. How it is named Vidhishoniteeyam, like Ashta Ahara Vidhi Visheshayatanani. And you know, the Charak, Susrut and Vagbhat, all three are unanimously accepted that the value or importance of Rakta in accordance with the Tridosha. Susrut has been asked the Rudhireneva Tasmat Rudhireneva Dharyate. Vatarakta cup plus Rudhir. It's Chaturtha dose. And Charak says, Yunakti praninam prana sonitam yanuvartate. All the trillions of the cells are connected with the common thread of the life or consciousness through the blood only. Blood is the only dispenser of the consciousness or prana or life. Yunakti praninam prana sonitam anuvartate. Sonit is maintaining and dispensing the life to all the trillion cells together. Yugupat Sarvato Ajasram Dehe Vikshipyate Sada. In one time, all the trillion cells are fed by the blood only, with nutrition, with Agni, with Pitta, and with life also. And Sarvato means Kesh to Nakhagra, Keshagra to Nakhagra. Sada, 24 hours, and all the 100 years. And 24 hours, 60 minutes and 60 seconds, all the seconds. In 1 minute, 62 or 64 or 72 pulsation of the heart. The blood flows in the body and in all the trillions of the cells. This is the Vidhishoniteeyam. Yanakti Praninam Prana Sonitam Yanavartate. This is the punchline of the Vidhishoniteeyam. This is 24th chapter of the Charak Samhita. And you know, the Pradushta Bahutikshnoshnai Madhya Rannesha Tadvidhai start with this chapter and Saratkal Swabhavacha Sonitam Sampradushyati. These are the Shronut Pradushti Karana. These are the reasons for the Sonita Pradushti. And what is that? Ki somewhere, if we don't have the good results after all the good precautions about Vata, Pitta and Kapha, Chetoshna Snigdha Rukshadya Upakrantasya Ye Gada, Samyak Sadhyana Siddhyanti Raktajastan Vibhavayet. We have only 6 upakram for the treatment. And all the 6 upakrams and good diagnosis we have done already, but the patients are still not controlled with that. Then what should be the second option? That is Raktajastan Vibhavayet. There is some another twist in this disease or Nidan is blood. So, take the disease according to Raktapitta Harim Kriyam. Here you need the very specific treatment as Raktapitta. What is that? First, I will tell you that Charak says Sonit, Rakta, Astra, Rudhira, and Lohit. What does it mean? They are not synonyms actually. They are defining the different qualities and different levels of the blood. What is Rudhira? Rujam dharyate iti Rudhiram. Where the pain, where the life is there will be a sensation. Vedananam adhishthanam manodehendriya sada. Vedana adhishthan is where the life is. Kesagra, lom, nakhagra, anna, mala, drava gunair vina. They don't have life and they don't have pain. So everywhere, where is the blood, there is pain. Charak says in Gulma Chikitsa, Raktam hi vyamlatam yati tatcha nasti na chasti ruk. If the blood is not disturbed, blood is not chemically or physically disturbed, then no question of pain is there. Tatcha nasti na chasti ruk. If their blood is proper, blood is vidhi, then there is no question of pain. So see, the Vidhishoniteeyam is very important because blood is the base or blood is the seat of pain actually. That is Rudhir. And what is Sonit? Raktam Jiva iti sthiti. You know all. The floating life is floating within 3 dynamic cells of the body in blood. Erythrocytes, leukocytes, and thrombocytes. Most of the cells are blood cells, and they are floating in the blood. That is Sonit. Jeev, life. No other dhatu is like blood. No other dhatu is like Sonit. Blood is the only dhatu which is having the floating life, floating cells. Other cells are, other dhatus are static, and blood cells are dynamic. And they are moving with the life, moving with the cell, moving with the erythrocytes, chromocytes, and leukocytes. So Sonit is what the cells of the blood or cellular biology of the blood is Sonit. What is Astra? Charak says, Prachyut Swasthanat iti Astram. What is bleeded? What is lost the place? What is moved to eliminate? That is Astra. That is Astrigdar. That is Astra. And what is Lohit? In a Raktapitta, Charak never used the term Rakta, only in heading. The Lohitavahanam Srotsam Guroni Mukhani Ashar. Lohit means this is the ferritin, or this is the iron, this is the mineral, this is the metal, which constitute the serology of the blood. The histology, serology, and neurology of the blood. Neurology is Rudhir, histology is Sonit, and serology is Lohit. And Astra, what is left, the what is Prachalit, what is displayed, what is eliminated from the Srotas, that is Astra. And what is Rakta? Rasat Praptam iti Raktam. In Pandu, Rakta Poshak Sar Bhag Anutpadacha Pandu. So Pandu is the problem of Rakta, because that Rakta is just Rasa, that is the supplementary nutritional channel for the blood. That is the life-giving channel for the cells of the blood actually. So plasma is a Rakta, the cells are Sonita, the metals and minerals are Lohit, and Astra is what is displaced, and Rudir is the Sabda Archi Jala Santanavad Anuna Visheshana Pradhavatyeva Kevali. The circulatory monitors of the Srotas is neurology and enzymes and the fluid. That is Rudir. So this is very important aspect. This is not described in detail, but you can search in different places. This is the problem in our text actually. They are not edited very well. So we have to search them in different places for one reason. So this is Rakta or Sonit, Vidhi Soniti. What is Vidhi? These are the Nidana, and these Nidana will pollute the blood. And what will they do? A number of the diseases. And ultimately, Yadatu Raktavahini Rasa Sangyavahani Mad, Murcha, and Sanyas. What are the ultimate diseases of the blood? That is Mad, Murcha, and Sanyas. What is Mad? There are 6 types of the Madas. Vat, Pitta, Kapha, Visaj, Rodhir, and Madhyaj. And what will they do? Cheshtahana, orientation of the physical, disorientation of the physical activity is mada. And disorientation of the sensory organs is murcha. And disorientation of the chetana or consciousness is sannyas. So these are three levels of the Rakta Dushti. Primarily, when blood is polluted either with any kind of toxin, either with alcohol or either with blood itself or either with Vata, Pitta and Kapha. Sakta analpa dhrutabhasam chalas khalita cheshtitam. This is Vatik Mad. Gait, speech, all are disoriented. Samprahar Kalipriyam. This is mood disturbances in Pitta. Swalpa Asabbadha Vachanatvam. This is Kapha's Mad. And Madhya's Mad is already described in Madatya chapter. And Visa's Mad in Visa's chapter. And Rakta's Mad is this. And you will wonder, the same Samprapti is again narrated in Atattva Abhinivesh. Malina, you can go through the Apashmar Chikitsa Sthan 10 of Charak Samhita. There Apasmar in Apasmar chapter, Atattva Abhinivesh Samprapti is same, like Vidhishoniteeyam. Malina Haraseelasya Rajo Moha Vritatmana. Same. Rasastrik Chetnavahi Sroto Rod Samudbhavam. Ras, Astrik and Chetnavahi. This is the complex combination of the pathology of all the three Srotas create Atattva Abhinivesh. And what is the cause of that? In Apashmar, in Unmad, and Atattva Abhinivesh, and all the six Mada, one common factor is Malin Ahar or Ashuchi Ahar or Avidhi Ahar. And this time, when we are suffering with the great adulteration of the food in everything, many of the patients we find in our clinic, I have very small clinic. You are very good physician, you may find more than me, but I am also facing this problem. The basic food items, essential food items have the great adulteration. Milk is not proper, ghee is not proper, oil is not proper. Even grains and pulses are not proper. Even paneer and what you say, all the things are having some kind of fruits and vegetables. So this is Malin Ahar. Malin Ahar, Chakrapani says, which produce huge mala only. Mali bhavati tat praya kalpate kinchid ojase. The food which produces the greater quantity of the mala and very less, negligible amount of ojas or dharak dosh. This is the main reason. This creates the Mada Murcha and Sannyas. So the orientation is already disturbed in many of the patients. Patient starts with the Atattva Abhinivesh. Patients are confused, foggy in mind. After this corona, many of the patients are having this indecisiveness, foggy mind, and many of the problems because of they have aggressively given the antibiotics or bad food, and they are victimized by this mother. This is the main thing. And this Vidhishoniteeyam, if you go through the Vidhishoniteeyam, then now we are entering in the chapter of Raktapitta. What is Raktapitta? And what is, sorry, before this, I have to clear one more thing. What is Raktavaha Srotas and what is Shira and Dhamni? We are having two concepts. One is Raktavaha Srotas and in another way, Shira and Dhamni. Shira Sapta Shatani and Chaturvinshati Dhamanya and Raktavaha Srotas Dve. So what is Raktavaha Srotas and what is Shira and Dhamani? Are they not Raktavaha Srotas? चरक से सिरा धमन्य पंथान नाड्य ये सब रक्त के पर्याय स्रोतस के पर्याय बट सुश्रुत से कि स्रोतांसि दीर्घाणि आकृत्या प्रतान सदृशानि च मूलात् खादंतरम देहे प्रसृतं तववायिवत् स्रोतस तदिति विज्ञेयम सिरा धमनि विवर्जितम. You know, the Sutrut says कि Srotas are not Sira and Dhamani. They are except the Sira and Dhamani. So how you would find this Sira and Srotas is, what is Srotas? Srotas is Parinam Apadyaman Dhatunam Abhivahini Bhavanti Ayanarthenam. Srotas are where the aparinamit dhatu or under transformation of the dhatu, they are in srotas. Nata sthiranam dhatunam abhivahini bhavanti. Chakrapani says कि अस्थिर, अस्थायी, अपरिणमित, untransformed dhatus are flowing in the srotas. When they become rakta, when they parinamit, when they transform, when they become sthai dhatu, they will go into the, go out from the srotas. And that is Sira and Dhamani. Sira and Dhamani are flowing the sthai dhatu, and Raktavaha Srotas is under transformation of the blood from the rasa and for the mans. So Raktavaha Srotas is different. Raktavaha Srotas is sthai. What is sthai dhatu? Sthai dhatu is dhatvashaya. We don't have the concept of the organs actually. We don't have the big textbooks on the heart and lungs and liver and spleen and kidney and many of them. Why? Because we don't need it. We know the asthai dhatu is flowing in the srotas and sthai dhatu is asay. What is ras? Ras is asthai dhatu and hriday is the asray of sthai dhatu. Layer by layer, cell by cell, the sthai dhatu constitutes the blood, heart. So if the rasa dhatu kshaya is there, then there is gattate sate sabdam noche dravati sulyate hridayam tamyati swalpatishtasyapi rasakshaya. In many of the cases you see, the case is angioplasty, done the angioplasty and bypass, but still they are keeping their hand on the heart. And they are keeping, and they are in terror of the heart disease because the rasa purti is not there. Because rasa is hriday and rakta is yakrit. Rakta is a pliha. Mans is pesi. So, dhatu hi dhatvashaya. So, this is the problem. The asthai dhatu, blood has Sthai Dhatu, and that flow into the Sira and Dhamani. And Rakta, what we call the Rasat Raktam, that is Srotas. That is Sthai Dhatu. So this is the question we have to understood very well. So now we are taking this Raktapitta. What is Raktapitta? Tair hetu bhir samutklistam pittam raktam prapadyate tadyonitvat prapannam cha vardate tat pradushaya tasyoshmana dravo dhator prasichyati svidyatastena samriddhim bhuyas tada gacchati. This is hypervolemia of the Sira or Dhamani, because the dhator prasichyate, all the fluids from the other dhatus or other neighboring srotas, and they compensate to dilute this pathology, to remove out this pathology, what is going on in the Raktavaha Srotas, and because of Drava and Ushma. Tasyoshmana Dravo Dhatu. Ushma and Drava is already there, and this Ushma will invite the fluids from the other dhatu to dilute this pathology of the Raktavaha Srotas. So the carrying capillaries or dhamani or sira will not be able to carry this much quantity of the blood, this much volume of the blood, and they become fragile and they bleed. This is simply bleeding disorder because of the, like Atisar. You see, the Asansamya Apam Dhatu, that same fluids are coming towards the intestine, large or small intestine, from all over the body, and compensate this to dilute this pathology, what is bacterial or infective or viral or something, and or dosic, to flush out this pathogen. The same procedure in Raktapitta. The Lohitavahanam Sotsam Guruni Mukhani Ashadya Avatishtante means the fragility of this blood capillary depend upon the metals and minerals what are repairing the blood capillary walls. So the basic problem is with the maintenance contents of the blood, which are making the maintenance of the capillaries, and they become fragile. One more thing, what we are doing in Raktapitta, what is the Chikitsa is suggested there. If the Urdhva Raktapitta is there, the Virechana is suggested. And Adhog Raktapitta is there, Vaman is suggested. Why is this? To divide the load on these capillary who are going to bleed. If the load is on upper side or bleeding from the upper tracts, so we are moving that into the downward with Virechana karma. So the load will share deload of the capillaries. This volume of the fluid will eliminate from the lower portion. And in lower rectal bleeding, we use the Vaman. So this is a wonderful thinking of Charak. Why this has been narrated there? Urdhva Raktapitta, Virechana, Adhog Raktapitta, Vaman. And not only this, but many of the other chikitsas are there. In Nidanasthan, Sarak says, Kordus Prayani Annapanani as Nidan of the Raktapitta. And Chikitsasthan, the Kordus Prayani Bhojanani Prasastam Raktapittina. You see the charak, the controversy of the charak. In Nidanasthan, what are the Nidan? Kordus Prayani Annapanani. And in Chikitsasthan, that is Prasastam Raktapittina. Why? The medical use of the Nidan will definitely supplement the minerals and metals of the blood, which are here unmedically, unadvisably, excessive use of Kordus Prayani Annapanani with other Nidanas of Raktapitta are now excluded, and only this Kordus Prayani Annapanani with inferior grades, which are in rare use, they can supplement better this serology of the blood, improve the serology of the blood. So the medical use of the same which are there in a Raktapitta Nidan, the Kordus Prayani Annapanani is not only Nidan, but they are Vidahi, they are with Vidahi Annapan. But here we are using this with Avidahi Chikitsa. This is the beauty of the treatment. And what is Pathya, Sanshodhan, Saman, Raktam, Sapittam, mein kya chikitsa? Yush, Sharkara, Ikshu, Makshik, Pay, Pey, Ghat, Lepan, Parishek, Avgahan. What a beautiful treatment has been given. For, I think many of you have not seen this kind of the cases in your OPD, but in IPD, many of the cases you may see. One more thing, what is there in a Madhamurcha and Sannyas, and what is the relation with the Raktapitta? You know, in laboratory, generally we do the all basic investigation through the blood. And in acidemia, creatinemia, uremia, alcoholemia, glycemic shock, we see the patient is going in the mud and murcha and sannyas even. Hepatic coma, glycemic coma. Patient going in coma because the blood is highly polluted. Or blood is lost the duty of the dispensing of the life. Yunakti praninam prana. So, Rakta is pranayatan. Das pranayatan. See, the Kantau marmatraya kantam raktam sukro deshi kudam. You know, in Charak Sutra Sthan 29. This is das pranayatan. This is the seat of life. And with this type of the adulterated food, or pradushta bahuteshno se madhya iranyesya tadvidhai, this kind of the food, the raised urea, raised creatinine, raised bilirubin, raised cholesterol, raised sugar has been badly polluted the blood and patient goes into the coma. The orientation of the activity, orientation of the motor sensation, motor activity, orientation of the sensory activity is lost, and ultimately patient goes into the coma. So this is the blood. And one more thing, Susrut in chapter 21 clearly says what is the medium of prasar in Satkriyakar. Sushrut says the medium of pressure is blood. Sushrut says there are 15 combinations of the pressure, while dosic combinations are only 7 or 8, but including blood as the carrier of that pathogen, Sushrut included the blood as a carrier of the pathogen. And Sushrut says Raktam. Otherwise, if the blood is not polluted, a Charak says Vyayama Ushmanastakshya Itasya Anavacharana Koshta Sakha Malayantri Dutatva Marutasya. Why this go into the pressure? Why don't go into the remission or prasham? Because they will naturally go into the remission if Vyayama, Ushmanas, Tekshnyad, Hitasya, Anavacharana are not there. If these 3 or 4 Nidanas are there, then Koshtat, Sakha, Malayantri, Dutatva, Marutasya. And blood will be carrying this all pathogen for spreading in all over the body. And will stay there where is Khaiveguni. So prasar madhyam is blood. This is very important. Narrated by the Sushrut in Sushrut Sutra 21. Another one thing, Raktapitta in Ashtanga Hridaya is said in Raktapitta Kash. What is the relation between Raktapitta and Kash, and why the Ashtanga Hridaya has been grouped Raktapitta and Kash together? The same thing has been narrated in Charak, in Rajakshma Chikitsa. Raktam vibadham argatvatman sadin nopapadyate tena kanto dhvanshate. The lesion, the site of the kas and Raktapitta in Kantha is same. So Raktapitta will definitely in Udark or progressive stages will produce the kash. So wisely, very wisely, Vagbhat has been included the Raktapitta and kash in one chapter. Because Charak already said in this Rajakshmadika, not for Rajakshma, only for Kas, this combination is important. Raktapitta and Kas. Raktam vibadham argatva kanthastvenopadhranshate. Pharyngitis. And this is the region of the Kas. So that's why every chapter is written very wisely. Sushrut says, Dhatunam Kshayavriddhi Sonit Nimitte. In Sushrut Sutra 14, 21st slok. Dhatunam Kshayavriddhi Sonit Nimitte. Why? Because this is the Kedari Kulya Nyaya. The blood is the central stream, central kulya, canal. And all colonies of the tissues are fed by the blood only. If the blood is improper or blood is insufficient, then definitely other dhatus will go into the kshay. So dhatunam kshay vrdhi sonit nimitte. Sushrut says very clearly. Dehasya rudiram moolam rudirene vadaryate. Sushrut says very emphatically is dehasya rudiram moolam. Because why the person is alive? Because life is dispensed by the rudir in every cell. This is the blood which provide the life to every cell. So dehasya rudiram moolam. Tasmad yatnena samrakshya raktam jiva iti sthiti. Blood is the only living tissue. Other tissues are getting life from the blood. But blood is giving already living tissue. So Raktam Jiva iti sthiti. The station, the seat of life is blood. So these are very important points. I think these are important. So I have a Sonita Varnaniyam. So they have mentioned different, one independent chapter for the Sonita Varnaniyam. Why this has been needed after Vatpitta Kap? Because this is very important chapter. And many of our friends are not Sonitadapi Va Nityam Dehe Etestu Dhariyate. Narte Dehe Kapadasti Nacha Pittan Nacha Maruta. Sonitadapi Va Nityam Dehe Etestu Dhariyate. It means Sonitad Api. This is another important aspect for the life. And many of the chapters are written except from the Sodhan and Saman for the Rakta Chikitsa, Strang, Jaloka, Alabu, Sirave. Other than Panchkarma. And many of our practitioners are practicing this. And they are getting good results, and very immediate results with Strang, Jaloka and Alabu. Many of your practitioners you know better, but they are using these techniques. Because Kuryat Raktapitta Harim Kriyam Vistravanam Sonitascha. In many of the cases, Vatarakta, there is Visravanam is Sadhya Chikitsa. Everywhere where is pressure, you release the pressure with bloodletting. Some encephalitis or meningitis, tubercular meningitis, many of our friends are using this Rakta Moksha, Jaloka. And this gives very good results. Because brain has not a very good ventilation. So if we ventilate, if we reduce the pressure of intracranial, then it will give the very good results. In some of the cases where fluids are there, we are taping the fluids. So like that, blood is also getting relieved by the taping, letting. So this is the very beautiful chapter. Thanks Rahul and Sitaram Ayurveda for giving me this choice topic. Well, another aspect is there in Pandu. What is Pandu? And how it is connected with the Rasas Vyadhi or Raktas Vyadhi. Basically, it is Rasas Vyadhi. Basically, it is Paithic Vyadhi. Dosha Pitta Pradhanastu Yashya Kuppanti Dhatusu. And you know, Pitta is situated, Pitta is resided in blood. Pittam tu Sweda Raktayo. And all the enzymes from brain to every hormone, every tissue, asaya chavamanasya pittam acham udiriyate, carried by the blood only. So if the Pandu is there or HB is there, quantitative blood is less, then the Pachan is less. And this chapter is written after Grahani. This is 16th chapter and 15th Chikitsa Sthan is Grahani. Its absorption is poor. Ras will become poor. Durbalo amameva vimunchati. Durbal Grahani will eliminate the food in undigested. Intermediately intermediate product. So after Grahani, this Pandu is very important. This is the improper rasa. Rakta poshak sar bhag rasa. Ras has two positions. Ras is thul after digestion of after the action of the rasa dhattvagni, that will convert into the two groups. That is sthul and sukshma. Sthul will nourish the rasa dhatu of the all tissues, but sukshma will go into the next dhatu. And prasad rasa dhatu is sukshma dhatu. Prasad ras dhatu is poshak for the rakta, and that is lowered. That's why Pandu Nishara Shithilendriya. Nishara means one is dhatu and one is sar. In Ayurveda, very beautiful concept. Why the sar are also written in this Ayurveda? When dhatus are very classified, very in good detail, why the sar is needed? Dhatu is quantity and sar is quality. Dhatu has a life. All the tissues have a different life. No tissue has 100 years life. But their constant regeneration and reproduction will carry this life, actually. But sar is like ghee from the doodh, milk. Milk has no life, only 24 hours life. But ghee has unlimited amrit. So when dhatu is converted into the sar, that will definitely provide the life. Dhatu will only and only accomplish the physiological activities of the body. Dhatu is not for life. Dhatu is for Jivan, Tarpan, Bandhan, Lepan, Dridikaran. That's all. Every dhatu has a definite physiology. And dhatu will consume in physiological activities, and second bhojan kal, you will need another bunch of dhatu, another bunch of dhatu, another avasthapak and nishthapak. But once a dhatu converted into the sar or ascended into the essence like sar, then it will for whole lifetime. And whole these 7 dhatu will finally converted into the sattva sar. And this sattva sar is for antakarana. This dhatu is for bahyakarana, this body. And sattva is for mind. So sattva can enter into the mind. Sattva is the fuel for the mind. Sattva is superior fuel, and that will operate the mental activities. So physical activities will be conducted by the dhatu, but physical immune system the organ's immune system will carried out by the Sar Dhatu. So in Pandu, that is very basic thing, Nissara Sithilendriya. If the Sar is not there, then Antakarana, the first component of the Antakarana is Indriya. That will not work properly. In case of hemoglobin, if hemoglobin is 7 or 8, the patient is unable to Badhirya, Andhya, Sandhya, anosmia will be there, because the Sar is needed for the Indriya karma. And Nissara is Indriya loss, Indriya Shaitilya. So Pandu is at the doorstep of Antakaran and Bahyakaran. Pandu is when we are losing the blood, because Sonitam Dhatunam Kshaya Vridhi Nimittam Sonitam. So if blood is not there, then all dhatus will get emaciated. And ultimately, the operator will not get the fuel. This is the operator of the body. Mind is the operator of the body. And body is just machine. And machine takes the gross food. And operator is for subtle food. And subtle food is essence of the dhatu, that is Sar. And that is Sattvam. And Sattvam Aupapadukam Yat Jivam Isprak Sarirena Saha Abhisampatnati. This is the switch between the body and mind, which connect this apparatus from the operator. Jivam is operator. Sprik Sarir is Thul Sarir is apparatus. And Sattva is operator. Sattva is that fuel. Sattva is that switch which connect the body and mind together. So in Pandu Roga, remaining discussion will be, you are knowing very well. But this is the very basic fundamental where generally teachers does not teach their student this clue that Nissara Sithilendriya. Dosha Pitta Pradhanastu Yasya Kupyanti Dhatusu means कि the parinamam apadyaman dhatunam abhivayini bhavanti ainarthina, parinamam is postponed, withheld. So the consequence will go up to the Sattvasar, and this will hamper your sensory activity, intellectual activity, emotional activity, and consciousness. So this is Pandu. One more topic, very important. There are three important aspects. One is Agni. Second, one is Anna. Satrinsat Sahasrani Ratrinam Hita Bhojanam Jivat Yanaturodantu Jivita Sammatam Satam. First important thing is food. Food should be good and hit. Selective to the Purusham beach. Satrinsat Sahasrani, 36,000 night and days means 100 years. No option for any missing. Satrinsat Sahasrani Ratrinam Hita Bhojanam Jivatyanaturojantu. If one desire to live without any disease and appreciated by the good persons, that is possible if he is taking the good food for all the 100 years. First thing. And Ayur Varno Balam Swastham Utsaho Upsay Prabha Ojas Tejo Agneya Pranas Yokta Dehagno Sante Agno Mriyate or Chiram Jivatyanamaya. Second thing is Agni. Agni means Ayur Varno Balam Swasthyam Utsaho Upse. All these are dependent on the Agni. If that is Sant, then death, and Yukta means proper, then Chiram Jivatyanamaya. No question of death. Not only 100 years, beyond the 100. Second thing is Agni. And third is Vat. Avyahat gatiriyasya sthanasthau prakrtau visthita jivet vit rog samashatam. Jivet so adhikam. Not 100 years. He can live 400 years. If the circulatory vayu is uninterruptedly moving throughout all channels. And sthanastho, prakrtau visthita, that is, the three important things are there. So vayu, the circulation of the vayu is very important. And blood is itself circulated by the force of vayu. And Raktamargam nihantyasu sakha sandhisu marta. Vayur vivruddho vruddhena raktena varita pathi. In Vatarakta. Blood, the consistency of the blood, the improper transformation of the blood will create the obstruction in the pathway of the vayu, the vikshepana of the vayu. Especially sakha sandhisu marutva. In sakha and sandhi. Raktamargam nihantyashu. Nihanti. Because blood is the only distributor, dispenser of the life. And vayu is the force behind the circulation. So if the blood is not reaching to the sakha, sandhi, asti, marma in anywhere, then definitely the diseases will arise. So raktena varita pathi. How the blood will obstruct the vayu? In normal course, Visram, Dravam, Vistrata, Dravata, Raga, Spandanam, Laguta, Statha, Bhumyadinam, Gunayete. There are 5 properties of the blood. Vistrata, Dravata, Raga, Spandanam, Laguta, Statha. Laguta. If Laguta is not there, Laguta means effortlessness. Gaurav means effortive movement. Body is anirvedo varta lakshananam. If all functions are going very smoothly and effortlessly, then anirved, then no sensation of the activity. Thousands and trillions, millions activities are going on in our body. But still, the body is not perceiving any activity. Anirvedo Varta Lakshananam. This is written in Jaipur chapter. What is the best health? Best health is not perceiving we are living. Living is imperceivable. Living is so smooth, so effortless living. If the effortive living is there, this is pain. So Laghuta is for effortlessness. Laghuta, because blood has to carry 400 kilometers in 1 hour. Travel 400 kilometers. Because every pumping, blood is flowing. And blood is flowing 5-6 liters of the blood. In 700 Sira, 24 and more dhamani, in trillions of the cells and colonies and capillaries, blood is flowing restlessly. And flowing is non-effortive, effortlessly. If Laghuta is there. If Guruta is there, means this flow will be perceived. And Guruta will obstruct the Vata. Raktena Varita Pathi means blood become thicker, blood become consistently not proper. Consistency of the blood is not proper. Blood is pitching, not vishad, not clear, not laghu. Dravata is less, spandan is not there, spandan is poor, pulsation is poor. This is the problem. This will create the Vatarakta. And especially between the very narrow tissue, narrow vessels of the, between the bones and small bones, especially. This movement of the blood will become difficult and difficult. This will create the Vatarakta. And pain will be there. Otherwise, there was a smooth functioning. And pain is there because life is lessening. Less life is reaching there. Blood is the provider of the life. And now, when the blood is become guru, thick, dravata is less, spandan is poor, then definitely life will become poor. And pain will be there. Anirved will go into the Vedana. This is Vatarakta. And what kind of the treatment? Rakta Prasadam. All kind of the treatment in a Rakta and Vatarakta, we are going Rakta Prasadam. This is very good term used by the Charak. Vatarakte to Rakta Prasadam Vishyate. What is Rakta Prasadam? Blood is having least mala. Kapha pittam malakhesu svedasya nakarumacha. So, Pitta is mal of the Rakta. And Pitta is Prasad itself. Prabha Prasado Medhacha Pitta Karma Vikaraja. Pitta is Ushma, Pitta is Agni, Pitta is Dasanam Bhakti Rusma Kshutrishna Deha Mardava. So Pitta, can Pitta be mal? No. Pitta is very useful. So the mala of Rakta is Pitta. But is Vidagdha Pitta or Vishtabdha or Avruddha or diluted or intoxicated, then it needs the prasadam. And prasadam, for prasadam of the Rakta, Pitta Virechan, Rakta Virechan, and many kinds of the dhatu like manjishtha, Raktaprasadana. We are using manjishtha in abundance for the Vatarakta and very good results. Because manjishtha is lawn, which is mutra virechan, pitta virechan, and rakta virechan. All, and ultimately in result that will be go for the rakta prasadam. And madhur tikta kashaya, pittam granth, the same will increase the goodness of the blood. So madhur tikta kashaya chikitsa is there in Vatarakta. So in many cases, we are, firstly I know the Kerala is the place where the real Ayurveda is there. And everyone is very well known with the concept to the clinic. In rest of the India, the condition is not so good, I know. But for you people and many of the other state people, I just wanted to clear the very few concepts which may not be conceived very well by the teachers and not taught to the students and not practiced by the practitioners. So these are the basic concepts for everyone to know what is Vidhishoniteeyam, what is blood volume, what is Lohit, what is Rudir, what is Sonit, what is Astra, and what is Rakta. And what is Madhumurcha and Sannyas, what makes the blood impure, how the blood goes into the toxic, and blood toxicity is the reason for the loss of motor function, loss of sensory function, and loss of consciousness. And this is the same with Unmada, Prashmar, and Tattva Binivesh. Because the blood is nimitta for Dhatunam Kshayavriddhi. So the blood is very important aspect. Just like Vatpitta. More than this, because the treatment chapters are more than Vata, Pitta and Kapha, are written for the blood only. Many chapters for the blood treatment are written here. So this is very important aspect. And all the diseases which are, we see the blood related diseases, they are having a different concept and different context. Raktapitta is altogether different with the Pandu, and Pandu is very different with the Vatarakta. Raktas Gulmi is very different with the So altogether these diseases are different because the Karyam Karya Vidhau Vistita, Natu Kevala Karanam. The Nidana of Rakta Dushti are very common in everywhere. But that is Utpadak Karana. Vyanjana is depend on the Karya Vidhi, the way of pathogenesis, route of the pathogenesis, associates of the pathogenesis. So everywhere, if the one ingredient, one component of the disease, one constituent of the disease is different, one location is different, one possibility, one consequence is different, then whole picture will be different. So Raktapitta is not like Pandu. Raktapitta is Tasyoshmana Dravo Dhatur Prasichyate. Siddhatasthera Samriddhim Bhuyastad Adigachati. Extra volume. And how much volume can be carried by the vessels? This is limited. And definitely they will go ruptured. And this is the Raktapitta. And how we can deload this volume by Vaman or Virechan in Urdhva and Adho. This is very fantastic concept. What is Pandu? Nishtara Shithilendriya. This is very important aspect, very important. Sar and Dhatu. Sattva is operator of the fuel of the operator. So this is very important. And again, Vatarakta. Vat is the force behind all Vikshepa. And Rakt is constantly floating. And not only floating, but dispensing life. If for few breaks are there, then the life will not be there. Rakt is pranayatan. So that's very important.
Thank you very much, sir. So it was indeed very eye-opening and enlightening session, sir. We expected, sir, you will be talking with the slides, but now I felt that I'm just sitting in your classroom where all of us actually felt like you are taking a class directly to us. So it was a very happy occasion where...
because I am very poor to making the slides like you actually.
Oh, sir. You're very expert in Samhita, sir. That is what we need. Actually, sir, you opened up the Samhita and provided us with the wonderful wisdom which is locked in there. When you were teaching, I was thinking we have gone through all those lines you have told during our graduate and postgraduate days, but we haven't approached the pathogenesis the way you told. So it became so inspirational again to go and read the same material along with the commentaries. So thank you very much, sir. It brought out a method of learning. And sir, before going to our Q&A session, there is a short 5-minute product introduction of Sitaram. For that, I may just call Dr. Rakesh Siran, sir. Sir, please.
Thank you, Dr. Rahul. So welcome back to a small product presentation from Sitaram Ayurveda upon the relevant products pertaining to blood and its manifestations, the diseases caused due to some impurification of the blood. So 100 years of healing legacy, Sitaram Ayurveda. First of all, I would like to bring your attention to one of the hypertension products from Sitaram Ayurveda, CardioSap. CardioSap was earlier called as CardioCalm. Now it is a fortified CardioCalm named as CardioSap tablets. It's for hypertension and associated conditions. It utilizes the proven antihypertensive sarpagandha supplemented by most suitable herbs to control associated issues. Some of them are Gokshiram and Punarnava as diuretics, Arjunam and Leshunam as cardioprotective as well as anti-cholesterol, and Jadamanji, Vacha and Shankushpi for relieving stress and insomnia. So here is our CardioSap tablets. It is the CardioCalm fortified tablets. Next product is respected Khandel, Dr. Khandel sir was talking about 3 diseases basically, Raktapitta, Pandu and Vidhishoniteeyam. So here is our Pandu product, TA tablets. TA tablet is nothing but Triphala and Annabedi. Annabedi, as you must be knowing, it is Kasisa Basma. So this is a combination containing basically Kasisa Basma along with Triphala and also HT Madhu. Very effective in iron deficiency anemia. It is safe, economic, hygienic, especially for teenagers and pregnant women, which quickly improves hemoglobin content. TA tablets from Sitaram Ayurveda. And for Vidhishoniteeyam, we are having a very specialized product called KG101 as soft gel capsules. KG101 is nothing but Shira Guluchi 101, just like Shirabala 101. We are having our Shira Guluchi 101 in our brand name KG101. As you know, Guluchi is the ultimate in arresting joint degeneration and rigidity, very effective in rheumatoid and degenerative arthritis. It contains the time-tested anti-arthritic herb Guluchi, potentiated 101 times using milk in Tilathaila base. It's a 175 milligram soft gel capsules. Very unique product it is, which can be used for the treatments of rheumatoid arthritis as well as for gouty arthritis, the ultimate remedy for rheumatoid arthritis. Now we'll go to some of the products mentioned which is available and manufactured by Sitaram Ayurveda for skin diseases. First one is we are having Gulgulu Tikta Gridam in a Shamana dosage as soft gel capsules, which can be used for many types of skin diseases. Gulgulu Tiktagam soft gel capsules. We are also having Gulgulu Asavam in Asavam form. The reference is Gada Nigraham, which again can be used in different types of skin diseases. Gulgulu Asavam. Arogya Vardhini Guliga is the Rasaratna Samuchayam. I am only talking about the specialty products. Nishotamadi Kashayam from Ashtanga Nishotamadi Kashayam. Neeli Tulasyadi Kashayam, which is good for many toxin effects. Dushi Vishari Guliga and Nimbamradadi Arenda Thailam. As mentioned earlier, I am talking about only the major products for skin diseases and skin conditions. We are having Pamantaka Thailam, Chembaratyadi coconut oil, which is a Kerala specialty from Sastrayogam, Jatyadi Gridam for external application for healing various chronic wounds, Dasotamadi Lebam, and Tuttamrida Malahara. These are some of the specialty products, classical products, of course, from Sitaram Ayurveda. And for allergic conditions, we are having our major brand Alarkan, which is being presented as powder as well as tablets. Alarkan utilizes the antihistamine action of Aridra supported by Triphala and Trivur added with Gokshiram and Kasisabasmam. It's palatable, non-sedative, natural protection against allergies. Effective in respiratory as well as skin allergies. Alarkan powder and tablets. ST powder is Senna Triphala powder as a regular laxative for conditions like habitual constipation and skin diseases with smooth action and no discomfort. It's a safely acting combination of Senna and Triphala supported by Trivur and ST Madhu, ST powder for habitual constipation. We are having our Sorahar boil, which is the unique combination of anti-psoriatic herb Shweta Kudajam prepared through Aditya Pagam in coconut oil. Sorahar boil, a time-tested tradition now standardized and clinically proven, effective and proven in psoriasis and dandruff for external application. Scurf oil is for dandruff, scalp itching and associated problems, mainly Shweta Kudaja, Durdura in Karathailam base. So it is very effective in dandruff and other scalp conditions. Next product is Dermosap ointment, which is a skin-friendly combination of Mahatiktagam, Tanganam, along with Shweta Kudajam and coconut oil. It's a topical, broad spectrum antifungal. Effective for external application in fungal infections and psoriasis. Dermosap ointment, which is one of the major brands from Sitaram Ayurveda. Next product, Fairfoot ointment. This is effective in various cracked skin conditions. It is the first officially clinical trial Ayush product of Kerala. This is one specialty regarding this product. It is the first officially clinical trial Ayush product from Kerala, certified by the Drugs Controller, Government of Kerala. It is antiseptic and antifungal with Jatyadi Grudam, Jivantyadi Emagam and Karancha Thailam as the major ingredients. It's a broad spectrum antifungal basically with antibacterial actions. Fairfoot ointment, which can be used for chapped lip, anal fissures, cracked foot, and palm also. Now, as mentioned earlier, we are having our single herb vegan capsules, which is carrying 600 milligram extracts packed in plant origin capsule shell. That is vegan capsules. Easy to get disintegrated and absorbed due to this particular presentation. It is packed in glass bottles of 60 capsules. Among the 10 different items which we are having for skin conditions, we are having Gugulu single herb as well as Triphala. Among these 10 items which we are having among Sitaram single herb vegan capsules. Now all these details regarding Sitaram services and products as well as regarding AACHAARA RASAAYANAM webinar series can be available from our website www.sitaramayurveda.com. And as you know, we are sending e-certificates to all the participants who attend this webinar for more than 75 minutes. We are sending the notes and the recordings as well to the email ID which you are using for registration by the subsequent Saturday. That means that today's notes and recordings will be made available by coming Saturday. And if you are not receiving that mail in your inbox, please check your spam folder, etc. You'll definitely receive the mail with the notes and recordings. And also kindly save our email ID to your contacts so that the mails sent by us are reaching your mail ID proper, inbox proper. Our email ID is support@sitaramayurveda.co. And for any support from Sitaram Ayurveda regarding products, services, or AACHAARA RASAAYANAM webinar, please contact Mr. Raji. He is our customer relations manager. His phone number is 90726-13194. I'll repeat, 90726-13194. Mr. Rajiv, our customer relations manager. His email ID is crm.osk@sitaramayurveda.biz. crm.osk@sitaramayurveda.biz. Thank you very much for your patient listening. Over to Dr. Rahul for continuation. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rakesh Chiran, sir. Sir, shall we now move on to the Q&A session?
Yes, yes.
So, sir, first we will move on to the certain questions. Sir, you have told about the Pandu as Vesaja Vyadi. I will raise one doubt here, sir, regarding the statement by Ashtanga Sangraha, Pandu Amayam Sonidage Kape. So that is somehow related, isn't it, sir? Because Vakhvada says it in Kapha and Charaka says it in Dasa. So can you correlate with both of this, sir?
Yeah, definitely. Rakta Poshak Sar Bhag is situated in Rasa only. So if we are to nurture the Rasa, we are seeing the Pandu cases are going better. So Rasa means the Rakta Poshak Bhag, not only the Rasa for Hrid Poshak, but Rakta Poshak. So here the meaning is same in Charak and Susrut, Charak and Ashtanga. The Rakta and Rakta Poshak Bhag. This is the same thing. This is the previous situation of the blood only. So this is not the rasa in Charak also, but it is Rakta Poshak Bhag. It means Rakta, but very primitive phase of the blood. This is the Rakta only. Okay.
Yes.
And what is the Kapha and what is Pitta? Kapha is for obstruction only. Otherwise, this is Pitta Pradhana. It is very clearly. Pitta Pradhana means the Pitta is the mala of Rakta. And in further advancement of the Pandu, we see Tasya Astrik Mansam Dagdha Roga Kalpate Kamala. Sakha and Koshta Strit Kamala. And we find this bilirubin raised and direct and indirect and OT, PT. This is all Pitta. This is all Pitta. So Malabhut Pitta. So this is the treatment of the Malabhut Pitta. In Matulunga Rasa Kshudra Pipali Marichanvitam, we aggravate this Malabhut Pitta or we treat this Mal into the Prasad. By Matulunga Rasa Kshudra Pipali, we add the Agni, which is not there in Pitta. So this is our basic treatment, and there is no difference in Ashtanga Sangraha or Charak, because the Charak is masterly handled all things. And Susrut and Bhagavad has been taken the subject, most of the subject from the Charak only. So no difference. But there is a progressive phase. Bhagavad was the successor of the Charak, so he has added many more things. So this is no question. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, also, we have gone near to the clinical entity called Kamala also, sir. So, can you have a few words regarding the progression of Pandu into Kamala? And thereafter, there are certain entities like Halimagam, which is described in our classics.
Pandu Rogi to Yotirtham Pittalani Nishivati.
Yes.
But direct Kamla, Swatantra Kamla may be there. But in case where the Pandu Rogi is already there and 7 of Pittalani, and Tashyap Asrak Mansam Dagdha Rogaya Kalpate, it means the quality of blood will become more poor and the Malbhut pilt will grow more and more, and that will convert into the Kamla. This is one Kamla. Other Kamla is direct Kamla. And that is, you are saying the Kaphas Kamla. That is obstructive Kamla. That may be direct by any kind of this gallbladder cholelithiasis or any type of the obstruction or any type of the circulation defect. So this may be there. Otherwise, Kamla normally is this is written in chart. I think so.
Yes, sir. Sir, and the entity called Halimagam, sir. Sometimes we try to correlate it as an end-stage liver disease or something. So I want to hear your opinion regarding Halimagam too.
First, we see the color and complexion in the patient. If the color is Prakrit, is Swasth. If color is Vikrit, we can diagnose any of the disease by color and complexion only. If Bhekavarno Vatendriya, Bhekavarno means some Harit Haridra Varna, like frog. Some Fir Kumbh Kamla, uska Varna is centralized at the abdomen, in circumference of the navel umbilical region. This is Kumbh Kamla. So Varna, this is only the difference is Varna and progressive stages of different pathologies and different progresses in blood is polluted in first stage Pandu, Ketki Duli Sannimam. Second stage Pit. Third stage Harit, Haridra. Fourth stage Kumbh Kamla, localized. Sixth Tilpishta Nivam. So these are the differences we can see the progressive stages of any disease. So Halimak is nothing but progressive stage of the Kamla. Kumbh Kamla is furthermore progressive stages. But the treatment, basically treatment is the same as Kamla. Okay.
Yes.
Some Upadrav may be there, but treatment is the same as the line of the Kamla.
Sir, Dr. Ashok ML, he is asking about the relation with the Saptatvaja in relation with the Raktapradorsha Vigara. Is there any relation exists between Saptatvaja and Raktapradorsha Vigara?
Raktapradorsha or Sronitadoshaja Roga, Raktakshay Lakshana is, what is Raktakshay Lakshana? Dr. Ashok. Twagruksha Mlana Rakta Sankshay. So Rakta Kshay is different, Rakta Pradosaj is different. Okay. Rakta Pradosaj is not in Twacha only. Rakta Pradosaj is Dosa Dushta Rakta. And that will create furthermore this life of Raktajro, Prabilaka, Mukpakasya, Akshirogo, Siro, Sirasul. Yes, Rakta Pradosaj Rog. But Rakta Kshay is Twagruksha Mlana Rakta Sankshay. If Kshay is there, then Saptat Tvacha will Dushta. And Rakta Pradosaj is there, there's Sonitaja Roga. Kamp Varta, ये सब सिरक कंप तथा सोनितजा रोगा को अक्षिरागस्य पूति ग्रहणाश्च गंधिता Gulmo Upkusuvishwar Raktapitta Pramili. But Rakta Kshay Rog, Tvagropsham Lara, Rakta Sankhay. So Tvagrog is already with that. Otherwise, if many more clade or made or 10 सप्तको दूष्य संग्रह होगा तो कुष्ठ हो जाएगा, वो फिर अलग रोग है. Otherwise, Rakta Kshay and Rakta Pradosas you have to diagnose very clearly, and Rakta Pradosas rog are given in Vidhishoniteeyam, Rakta Kshay rog in Kiyantasrisi. Okay.
Okay, sir. So he's also asking about the relation of Raktavaha Srotovikara and Rakta Pradosha Vigara. Raktavaha Srotovikara leads to Rakta Pradosha Vigara. Can we say like that, sir?
Yes.
Yes.
आहारस्य विहारस्य यस्या दोष गुण समय है ना धातु भी विगुणश्चापि स्रोतसांस प्रदूषक. If Rakta is viguna, then definitely Raktava Srotas will be viguna. धातु भी विगुणश्चापि स्रोतसांस प्रदूषक है ना. This is very clear.
Yes.
If the Rakta is Raktava Srotas is made of Rakta only. If Rakta is dosha, then Raktava Srotas is dosha also.
Okay, sir. Dr. Surekha Kamath is asking about the Prasara Avastha. So, sir told that in Prasara Avastha, Rakta is involved.
So,
sir?
Rakta is carrier of the
carrier.
Yes.
Yes, sir. So she is asking, is it vitiated Rakta or simply the Rakta is asking as a carrier? So also in Mamsa Medo Dhadu Pradosha Vigara, whether Rakta is involved. Then why should we name they as Mamsa Pradosha Vigara, Medo Pradosha Vigara, etc.?
No. Rakta is not dosha here. Actually, Vata, Pitta, Kapha, aggravated, Prakupita, Unmargami, Vata, Pitta, Kapha will spread through the blood into the whole body. Vata, Pitta, Kapha is the only and only cause of the Roga. Rog Kartritva is in Vata, Pitta, Kapha. But blood is also carrier of that. This is written in Sutra 21. Okay. Mansa Pradosas Vikar, if the Khavegunya will be there in Man, then the Kupitanam, Hidoshanam, Sarire, Paridhatam, Yatra Sangha Khavegunya, they will stay there. If the Majja Pradosas, there is Khavegunya is in Majja, they will stay there. So this is Khavegunya is many reasons, other different reasons for the Khavegunya. But Pradoshas is Rakta Pradoshas Vikar. Is carrying the Tushna Vat Pitta Cup or Prakupit Vat Pitta Cup or Prasran Unmarg Gami Vat Pitta Cup only. And Rakta will carry this because the basic guidelines for the not to pressure into the Saka Vyayamad Ushna Stekshna Itasya Anavacharana, they are not followed. So the Koshta Sakha Malayanti. Otherwise, there is no question of going from Kosh to Sakha. They will go into the remission. If there are some causes who invoke the blood to carry for the Unmargami dose, then this will carry this blood. Okay.
Okay, sir. So, sir, in the context of Pandu, we usually study that when the doshas are vitiated, they will reach Hridaya, and from there they will circulate to the entire body and get Sthana Samsraya in between Tok and Mamsa. That creates Pandu. So, sir, we usually studied in the way that from Hridaya they circulate through Rasadhatu. So, is there any correlation like that, sir? In Prasara, it is Rakta, you are telling.
You have studied, I think so, in a source. Tasya hridaya sthai rasam kshayam upeti. in source, Hridayasthayirus, which operates the heart mechanism, this pumping mechanism, this heart mechanism, this EF. So in condition when any toxin reaches into the Hridayasthayirus, which is operating fuel for the heart mechanism, then the disease will go into the cardiac sector. Otherwise, Pandu is simply in Tvacha Samvedya Lakshana. Pandur Varno, Bek Varno, Pandur Varno, Bek Varno, this is Tvacha Samvedya Lakshana. But in one or more consequences, if the Pandu, if the pathogen, if the toxin goes into the Hridayasthayirus, then definitely this will create the cardiac disorders. Many dimensions of any pathology may be there. With any genetic transfer, with previous disposition or and ritukal, organic deficiency, and many other Bebichari and Pradhanik Nidanam. There may be many dimensions of any disease. So in one dimension, the Pandu may be going to the Hridayasthayirus. Okay?
Okay, sir. So we have to understand it like that. Okay. There is a dimension of Pandu in which the Hridayasthayirus is affected.
Yes.
So, sir, another question is regarding hemolytic anemia, its management, its approach, line of approach. It is asked by Dr. Hari Krishnan Parikh, sir. So, sir, hemolytic anemia, is it a different entity from the Pandu Roga which we speak about?
I don't remember one quote from the Ashtanga Hridaya. There is one reference to Majja is also important to produce the blood, in formation of the blood. Sarakta Majja.
Sarakta Majja.
I don't remember that quotation.
Shariram.
But what is the formation of the blood? Basically, the most of the blood part is formatted by recycling of the tissue. So if the liver or spleen or recycle arrangement are failed, recycling of the garbage or waste products or recycling of the dead cells are stopped somewhere, or they converted into some toxins, or some Rakta Agni, Mande or Nas is there. So in this condition, the hemolysis will start. Raktagni Nas or Raktagni Mande, or Yakrit Dushti, Yakritodar or Plihodar, or Majja Dushti. These are the four corners which can affect the blood formation of the blood, reformation of the blood. Otherwise, every cell of the blood is producing a new cell before the death. So the rebirth of any cell is depend on the quantity and quality of the food, of the cellular food. If that is poor, Agni is poor, that ingredients for the formation of the blood are not there. Serology is poor, hematology is poor, minerals and metals are poor, then definitely blood will not produce rebirth, reproduce the cell before their death. Every cell has its own age. Just like RBC have only 3 months age or 90 days, or WBC had some days only, 1 day only. So every cell has a phenomena to prayatna of ahankar of their own oneself before their life is ending. But in case the constituents which are important to form the blood are not there, how they can rebirth, how they can reproduce the blood cells. And this process is Agni, Majja, liver, and clear. This is the Malinahar Silasya. This is very important. If the food is Mali Bhavati Tat Prayaha, food is almost converting into the mal. Only very few, very negligible amount of the OJ is there. So the blood for this is hemolysis. And this is written in source Nidanam. Mali bhavati tat praya kalpate kinchidodis. So in that condition, this is hemolysis basically. Or in that condition, kshatkhin chikitsa. Kshatkhin means regeneration of the cell. Sarpi good, eladi gutika. This is the chikitsa to get them regenerated, get them potential to reproduce the cells. This is the chikitsa. Okay? Not Pandu chikitsa is not for hemolysis. Pandu chikitsa for remove the pandutva in blood and pitta in blood and go into the sar of the blood. Pandu is this much. But Rasayan is in Kshatakhin. This is the source, hemolysis, and the Kshatakhin chikitsa is to regenerate the cells. Okay?
Okay, sir. Okay. Sir, there in hemolytic anemia, can we equate that situation with the Vatarakta, sir? Because in Vataraktam, some types of many patients show a certain level of hemolysis too.
Definitely. Vatarakta, Majja Sthit Vikar. If Vatarakta, we see the Vikar is Parva and Majja. तो पर्व शूल है तो मज्जा विकार है तो दैट विल डेफिनेटली क्रिएट द हेमोलिसिस, है ना, बोन मेरो डिप्रेशन. इसीलिए मैं वो रेफरेंस आई डोंट नो एक्चुअली, दैट रेफरेंस इज देयर इन अष्टांग हृदय. मज्जा इज प्रोड्यूसिंग दिस ब्लड, सो दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. इन वातरक्त पर्व शूल इज बिकॉज ऑफ द मज्जा दृष्टि. Majja Dushti is cause of the not formation of the blood, hemolysis. Thank you.
So Dr. Shivganga, doctor has pointed out that reference in chat box, sir. That reference is Tulastishu Visheshena Majja tu Abhyantara Ashrita.
Yes, yes.
Ata idareshu sarveshu saraktam medochiti.
Saraktam medochiti. This is very important. I will read this and write this answer for you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
And so, sir, another question is regarding the hypertension, sir. As we link always hypertension with the increased blood pressure, and so Raktadhatu and hypertension, can it be linked and can a treatment principle be evolved? Dr. Rekha NS is asking.
One of my friend, best friend, Dr. Baghel, was sitting with me in my clinic, and we are the friend of 40 years. Unfortunately, we lost him last year. And he was firm. The blood pressure is nothing but Vidhishoniteeyam. Krodha prachurta sammoho बुद्धे सम्मोहो लवणाश्रिता स्वेद शरीर दौर्गन्यम मद कंप स्वरक्षय तंद्रा निद्राति योगस्य तमसस्याति दर्शनम विदाहश्चान्नपानस्य तिक्ताम्लोदगिरणम प्रमाण. Because he was himself a hypertensive patient, and unfortunately he died with the reason of that only. But we are very keenly observed that if the blood is proper, no question of hypertension will be there. And how this blood will proper? Rakta prasadam only. Rakta prasadam. Sitoshna snigdha rukshadya upakrantasya ye gada. This is, blood pressure is this type of disease. This cannot be treated with Sita, Ushna, Ruksha, Snigdha Upaya. Upakrantasya ye gada samyak sadhyana siddhanti. This is not treatable with any of the existing management formula of the any other disease. So it should be considered as a Raktajatan Vibhavayat. And what is to be given? Natyushna Sitam, Lagudipaniyam, Rakte Hitamannapan, Tara Sariram, Anavastitastrik, Agnir Visheshena Rakshita. Only Agni Raksha, Hit Bhojan, Hit Anna and Hit Pan. And Natyushna, Na Sit, Na Ushna, or Dipaniya, or this is very simple concept, but we can elaborate this simple concept with Annapana Vishekatya. That is very widely written. What are the good to manage the prasada rakta prasadam? We can identify. We are advising our patients, if you are hypertensive, you please don't take this and take this in your food. You add this on food. Especially these refined oils, which are refined by the many kshar, and many part of the kshar is there, and some unedible oils are there. This is the cause of Raktapitta, portal hypertension, and hyperlipidemia. This is the cause. And doctors are advising not to take the ghee, but ghee is necessary because ghee is deepani and lagu. So in many cases, first you understand this is not the disease which can be treated in other system of the Sadupakram. So this is different. This is different, and this is Raktajro. And Raktajro and these symptoms are there, and Raktajro can be treated with the Annapana Vishya. Very good. Definitely.
Okay, sir. Sir, another question is regarding the Saram, the concept of Saram you mentioned that came to a lot of questions. One is regarding how come we know if Sara is not forming properly? How we can measure the Dhatu Sara? Is by doing Sara Pariksha, sir. Dr. Prajot Kaur is asking.
Definitely. Measurement is the major problem. But believing is not the problem. If you believe in clinical observation, if you believe in aptopadesh, and if you believe blindly first in aptopadesh and the symptoms, you can measure the Sara also. But one of my students, Meera, is working in All India Institute of Ayurveda, Delhi, who did her PhD in Sara Pariksha. I have given her a project because I am chairman of IEC of Halina Institute. So I have given her a project to draw the measuring scale for the SARA Pariksha. And definitely we are poor at this stage. We don't have any good measuring scale for all your facility. But definitely, I request you also to you please engage yourself to know how to measure, how to make the measuring scales of the SARA Pariksha. But I know this is very important aspect. And by Aptopadesh, after practicing of 2-4 years continuously on this line, you will be able to measure the SARA Pariksha. But this time, I am very sorry, we could not develop a measuring scale for the SARA Pariksha. Thank you.
Sir, on reading that area, SARA Pariksha, we can see that there are certain attributes which are related to the social aspects of a person. Many times in Rakta Sara or Mamsa Sara, they say, because if this Sara is there, the person will achieve a fortune, he will be having riches, he will be well-living, upper class, likewise. Some references are there. So Sara Pariksha is something that is going beyond the physical limitations too, sir.
Yes.
Sara is giving you some social positions also.
Yes. This is good. SARA Pariksha is not for the physiological excellence. This is for the psychological excellence, emotional excellence, intellectual excellence, social excellence. Kshama dhritir alobhascha. Sneho bandha sthirutvam gauravam bhrashta balam. Kshama dhritir alobhascha. What is this? Forgiveness, non-greediness, patience. What is that? What is superhuman qualities? If you have the essence of dhatu, dhatu are only for the physical activity. But Sara is beyond the physical limits. They enter into the psychology, the emotional, the intellectual property are depend on the Sara only. That's why we see the patience is less, the forgiveness is not there. Utsaha, Utshvasa, Nishvasa, Utsaha is not there. Prabha Prasado Medhacha, Pitta Karma Vikaradam is not there. Because the first line is for physical accomplishments. But second line of Dhatu, those even, is for superior human qualities. So Sara is at one line, they are physical accomplishments, but at second line, they are for socially, that is elated person. Hitayu. Sara is not for Sukhayu. Sara is for Hitayu. Hitayu means Atabhuta Dayam. You are compassionate to all the living beings. You are good. You are emotionally high, elated. You are intellectually higher. So Sara is something greater than the Dhatu. Okay? Dhatu does not have this type of the symptoms, this type of the accomplishments. Okay? So Sara is something different, but unfortunately it is not taken at very right spirit. So my students, you students are maybe confused about this, but this is very primary stage. We are talking about the Sara, but you start thinking on that line. And definitely you will take the lead and you will relate yourself when you understand the Sara.
Okay, sir. Sir, Dr. Surekha is asking about the difference between Malarubi Pitta and Prasada Pitta. How both are produced with respect to Avastha Bhaga?
Malarubi Pitta and
Prasada Pitta, sir.
This is Prasad Pitta. Prabha Prasado Medacha Pitta Karma Avikaraja. This is Avikari Pitta. Avikari Pitta is Prasad Pitta. Darsanam Bhakti Rusma Chakshu Trishna Deha Mardava. This is Avikari Pitta. This is Prasad Pitta. And Malbhut Pitta is Daha, Oshna, Tekshna, Visrita, odor, different kind of the body odor. This is there. ये मलरूप पित्त, स्वेद गंध, लोहिताशय गंधिता, मत्स्य गंधिता, है ना, कुणप गंधिता. This is all. Vistrita is because of the dushta pitta or malabhut pitta. If the malabhut pitta is there, then prabha prasado medha cha or darshanam bhakti rusma cha, this will be there, but with some lakshana of the dushta pitta. Gandha will be there, vistrita will be there, tikshnata will be there, vidaha will be there, anger will be there, sleeplessness, insomnia will be there, and so impatient will be there.
Sir, is this Malarupa Pitta is a physiological aspect, sir? When Rakta is getting transformed to Mamsa, whether it is normally formed or is it due to a Nidan?
Mal, when it is Sanrakshamal or Niskashyamal, if it is not interrupting any movement, Malaha Bahirmukha Prathak Janmano Abad Karashu, then it is Mala. Then it is eliminable mana. Otherwise, normally the Rakta Mala Pitta is Sanrakshamala. If it is Abadakar, Prathak Janma or Bahirmukh, Bahirmukh means Lohit, Gandhashyata, and Punap Ashyata, and Puti Gandhita, Matsya Gandhita. This is Bahirmukh, Prathak Janmana. So if it is in place, it is in normal, it is in not interrupting any movement, this is Sanrakshamal, otherwise Niskashamal. A very fine line between the Mala, Niskashya and Sanrakshan.
Okay, sir. Okay. It was a new knowledge, sir. And sir, Dr. Savita is asking a relation between Rakta Dushti and Artava Dushti, sir. Especially in the context of Rakta Pradara in PCOS management, likewise.
This is a very long question and not taken previously in this part, in this lecture. But what is Pitta? Pitta is to Pitta Deva Ushmana Paktir Naranam Upajayate. Or Vikrit Pitta Dushta Pitta Vikaran Kurte Bhum. If Pitta is not doing the Bhakti, Artha is the result of the Bhakti. Proper Artha is result of proper Agni of the Rasa or Rakta. Some say Rasupdhatu, some say Raktupdhatu. But don't get it confused. But anyway, if the Dhatvagni is proper, then Artha will be there. In Artavkal, in Samyak Matra, without any complication, effortlessly, very easy, very normally. But if Agni is not there, and Agni depends upon the Ahar, Vyayam, Nidra, Apastam. If Ahar is not proper, then Agni will not proper. Nidra is not proper, then Agni will not proper. फिर चिंता शोक भय क्रोध दुख शय्या प्रजाग्रे मात्रया अपि अव्रतम पत्यं चानन न जीरयति. If these reasons are there, Agni will not be proper. Vyayam is not there, Agni will not be there. In case of the PCOS, PCOD, PDI, VID, these kind of the problems are there. Okay? And ultimately, they destroy the Rasa Dhatvagni or Rakta Dhatvagni, and Dhatvagni after their activity, they will produce Upadha. So Artav doesn't have any Agni. But Rasa has Agni and Rakta has Agni. So Artav is the result of that Agni. And that Agni is because of this, and this thought, then it will not Prakrit. So in other way, many more consequences may be considered in this matter. But basically, this is the Agni Vikriti.
So, sir, one question is regarding the two important areas, hemophilia and thalassemia. So, how can we view in these three spectrum, as you told, Raktapittam, Pandu, Vataraktam? How can we visualize these vyadis?
Newer diseases will definitely come. And our joint efforts for or make the uniform consent of the newer diseases is very poor. But basically, the clue is with us. तस्मात् विकार प्रकृति अधिष्ठानांतराणि च समुत्थान विशेषांच बुद्ध्वा कर्म समाचरे विकार नामाकुशो न निर्यात कदाचन. If most of the time we don't diagnose a patient with the name of the disease, we diagnose a patient only because the patient is carrier of that disease, and patient has more value than the disease value. So, if the thalassemia is not written in our text, Raktapitta is written in our text. But in cases of Pramehe, Jata Pramehi Madhumehino is there. But in Raktapitta, Jata Raktapitta is not there. Bij Bhagavayo, Bij is there. But we have to draw that concept into this thalassemia also. But it is definitely very difficult. Santana doshasya tathaiva mrityu. Viruddhar में सांड्यान से विसर्प दकोदराणाम लास्ट में कहा संतान दोषस्य तथैव मृत्यु. Why this generation is affected with this kind of the genetic diseases or chromosomal diseases? Because somewhere in this family or in generation, Viruddha those who were Viruddha Ahar was 7, or Viruddha Ahar is very Vyabhichari Nidanam. That works very slow. But ultimately it transfers the genetic disease in the next generation. संतान दोष. देखिए विरुद्धाहार में एक बात बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट है ये कि why the विरुद्धाहार is important for the संतान दोष. और शुक्रम ही दुष्टम सापत्यम सदारम बाधिते नरम. If Shukra is dushti, then Dharvadha and Apatyavadha will be there. And what kind of Apatyavadha will be there? Like this. Many of these diseases can be understood in the light of the Ayurvedic concept, but this need a joint effort or greater platforms. Because to make the common acceptance for the concept. But as I am thinking, I don't hesitate to treat any case of unknown diseases in Ayurveda because I know the patient is there and symptoms are there. Patient desham dushyam balam kalam is there, and I know what he is immediately needed. And definitely it will take time. First, I regularize his appetite, regularize his bowel movement, regularize his physical activity, stamina, and then I will get time to diagnose a patient by the time. And definitely patient is with this much of the file, and patient is factor 8 or this one, but I don't care of that because I don't have that concept in my Ayurveda. I treat this patient with Gatite Rakte, Paravat Chakra, or Durva Swaras, or Amal ki Swaras, or Buddhiga Swaras. Something I have. So I will give him. And definitely I will try to terminate the toxin behind this, दूसरी विष, है ना, और कोई विष है तो उसको निकालेंगे, ठीक है ना. ये कोई भी डिजीज के बारे में देखिए इतना परेशान नहीं होइए, हमें अपना कंसेप्ट बनाना पड़ेगा. If jointly we are not failing in construct a joint venture, then individually we are doing our best.
Okay, sir. So, sir, there are questions also regarding idiopathic thrombocytic purpurea as well as hematologic malignancies. So, all these can be viewed in this protocol, as you told, isn't it, sir?
Definitely. All these can be understood in this same protocol. Tasmat vikar prakriti nadhisthana samutthana visheshansa buddha. And this is your excellence. How detailed, how far you can touch the element of the disease. और हो जाएगा, ऐसे कोई बात नहीं.
Sir, for planning treatment for such diseases, all those diseases which we listed now, like hemophilia, thalassemia, as well as ITP, leukemia, all those diseases, what as a young clinician, I feel that they need medications which are of some other dimensions, sir. Is it like that? You told Durva Swarasa, Amla Swarasa, etc.
Strengthen the loin, improve the liver, improve the pleha, improve the ras, improve the agni, improve the Srotas. This is the basic thing. And कहीं भी कुछ भी समझ नहीं आए तो यन्न भल्लातकम हन्या कफजो नसो रोगोस्ति भल्लातकम हन्या और शिलावह्यम, है ना, ये सब नहीं है तो शिलाज भल्ला तक कुछ न कुछ हम देंगे. अग्नि साक्षात अग्नि देंगे. Something we will do definitely on the same line.
Okay, sir. Sir, then there is another question regarding the formation of blood clots, sir, that leads to stroke, etc. That you have already answered the causes of that. But in a patient post-stroke, sir, when he is having residual pulses, shall we have some idea regarding the Raktadushti which can be incorporated in the management of Pakshagadam? Pakshagadam is a Raktadushti-janya vigara. Such a reference is not available anywhere, isn't it, sir?
One of my students who was working very good in this subject, just 4 or 5 days back, he also gone to the God. Dr. S.N. Oja, Satyendra Oja, who was working in Sangli after retirement. And he was working in this Paravat Chakra. very wisely. And not only Paravat Satput, but Paravat Mans. And definitely many of this type of the challenging diseases are taken by few physicians in some remote area. Very silently but unfortunately our network is very poor. Our information bureau is very poor. That is not spread out in all our students. But many of the physicians are working on this stroke and post-stroke and hematoma, on thrombus, on thrombolysis. Many of the students, many of the physicians are working on this. And very successfully they are working. And definitely some physicians are working on the only in the field of stroke. Only. And immediate after stroke, some patients are going to first choice. So it is wonderful. Our clinics are improving. And after this corona, many of the patient has a very good confidence in Ayurveda, and many of the patients are going at first hand to the Ayurvedic physicians. And definitely, I don't have the all clue for all diseases. I am very poor. I am very limited patient. I am having, but for conceptually, I draw some concept from the books for his guidelines. But how he used those concepts with his practice line, definitely he is wise and he will do better. So some concepts are there. I am not able to practice all the concepts, but many of my students and good friends are doing on the same concept line. And they are definitely informing me that we are doing this and they are doing great, but I could not. Thank you.
Okay, sir. So here we go. Here we plan to end the session here, sir, because all those questions, I think, different clinical syndromes, the questions I came up. So for all those syndromes, I think your answer is very clear that reading the text, identifying the diseases properly, the clinical situations, correlating with the textbooks. And one final question from my part. For all, I am representing all these representing the physicians assembled here. So what should be the approach, the basic clinical approach as a very senior academic and clinician? How you feel? We have got a lot of modern clinical entities on one aspect. Another aspect, we have got Samhitas. So on behalf of young clinicians, I'm asking, how should our clinical life shall be? That means how we have to approach the cases, how we have to study, how we have to redefine the clinic, sir.
Thank you, Rahul. You are asking a great question. How every individual have their own unique mind and unique personality. And everyone is wiser than me, I think so. More intelligent than me. They can find their own way for the practice or apply the concept. But I am of firm belief, you may not be agree of this, whatever regarding any type of the medical problem, the answer is not there, but clue is there. So first you consult your patient with text. If you could not understand the text, then ask to your teacher. You make a good network of your friends. Because Acharya Padam Adatte, Padam Shishya Swamedaya. Padam sa brahmacharibhya padam kalakramena. Teacher taught only 1/4 part of the knowledge. Padam Shishya Swamedaya. With your self-intelligence, you will develop the another 1/4 part. And third 1/4 part will be developed with the interaction with your colleagues. Padam sa brahmacharibhya. And last 1/4, last 75 to 100% will be come by the time. Kala Kramena. So definitely you should make a good friend circle, good network, and feel free to disturb anyone regarding this type of the academic or clinical problems. And definitely every day, even myself, I ask many of my students and feeling that they are my teachers. What you are doing in this case? How is your result? How many patients you have seen? Can you give me the drug? So definitely, only one person cannot treat any disease, but you have the good friends. Then Varnaswari Indriya is first thing. I generally that I am patient is already diagnosed with the modern medicine, but that is of no use to me, because if that is useful, the patient was not in condition to come to me about ठीक कर देते उसको. The patient is not treated there with that diagnosis. They failed with that same diagnosis. So I have to make my own diagnosis with my own line. And that is depend on the Varnaswari Indriya. First chapter. Only 20 points are there. Patient is coming from the far away in my clinic. I see his color and complexion. I see his gait. I see his way of sitting, way of standing, way of talking. And then with one attendant or no attendant, with a stick or with no stick, on a stretcher or without a stretcher. Many of the things, Ayur, Varna, Bala, Swasthya, Upsa, Upchay, how is emaciation is there, Kshos is not there, and color is good, speech is good, swar is good, then patient is treatable. Oz is there, patient is treatable, irrespective of the any asadhya disease. You start teaching because the factor Oz is there. Then first, you could not diagnose in just first meeting. You just make the some complaints removed. Just make the bowel clear, make the appetite good, make the sleep good, and some physical activity is good. Definitely patient will come in another 7 days, and you are having another 7 days to think upon this. And now you take up the disease. And definitely these 7 days will be the days with your discussion with your friends, discussion with your books. And definitely you will go to the disease. Now, what is preference of the treatment? Vata, Pitta and Kapha. All the three together you could not treat. First you take the most aggravated dose. Pitta is emergent. Pitta should be treated first, I think, not Vata and all. Then you should treat slowly the fluids to improve the body fluids. Vata will automatically improve. and don't give many more medicines. Simply give 2-3 medicines for particular purpose. And diagnosis of a patient is more important than a diagnosis of a disease. Because in our case, the patient is important. Disease is at second line. If the patient is under your good impression, patient is feeling good, patient is feeling light, patient is energetic, then definitely disease will be at the second part. Take the disease also. So there are many different variety of the patient examination and treatment. And some persons are doing the Muhti Yoga, some Rasayan Yoga, some Ras Yoga, some uses only Sodhan Karma, some uses only Sodhan Karma, some Devya Pasra and Mantra Mani. But this is the different position. But I generally go with the Roga Nidan. And Roga Nidan is my strength. And I can diagnose with my own idea, and I can find the textual basis of that patient in my text. And now the remaining work will be done by the text. Text says, do this and this in this sequence. This is the protocol. Definitely. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, any more questions are there? Or you are feeling something puzzled or unsatisfied?
Sir, regarding my question, sir, you have mentioned that Manjishra for the Raktaprasada. Please explain the details, sir.
Sir, sorry.
Manjishra.
Manjishra.
Yes.
I feel Manjishra is for Raktaprasada. Because I use Manjishra and that gives very good result. As a Rakta Virechak, a Mutra Virechak, and Pitta Virechak, and Rakta Prasada. And one drug have wonderful effect. But unfortunately, Manjishra is a very different quality Manjishra. Irani Manjishra is there. Some say is a Nepali Majid. But in due course, I depend on my students who are getting the best quality of the Manjid from anywhere. And they supply me at their rate. So I use Manjishra very much, but Manjishra is having very good. Whereas Manjishra, the churn of Chakradat is there and very good. That's very good.
Sir, can you give me the best Manjishra that is details, so we can start the cultivation through the National Medicine Plan Board, sir? Can you give me what your experience, which Manjishra is the best one, that is the details?
I think
so definitely we can try for that, sir.
Kashmiri and Nepali Manjishra is good one. Irani Manjishra, they say good, but we don't find any Irani Manjishra here. But Kashmiri and Nepali Manjishra are good.
Fine, sir. Thank you, sir. No.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much for your sparing so much time for us, even though it is very late in the evening. And I know that you are having consultations in the daytime. And you're sitting late here just to talk with all of us. And it opened all of our eyes, internal eye, I will say.
Keep it open and take the student's privilege to ask anytime, anywhere.
Yes, sir.
My mail, okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The questions definitely not full. They are not fulfilled. They are not satisfied. I know, but I have the duty to satisfy them, and I will answer till they get satisfaction. You give my ID, they will directly discuss with me.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. And somebody was writing in the chat that you are leading classes every Thursday and Saturday, I think. through the YouTube. So all of us will get into that. And thank you very much, sir. Thank you once again from all of our part, all of our the students assembled here. Consider all of us as your students, and we will be in touch with you in future. Thank you very much, sir. And I request.
Thank you, Ramanathan sir. Thank you, Rajesh ji. Thank you, all my friends who are listening this all 2.5 hour talks. Thank you all.
Sir, I really thanks to Rahul Nair ji to bring the 70th episode, the Sri Krishna Sharma Khandel. The beautiful, very effective talk, sir. Complete, we are more than 70th. This is 70th webinar. So, what is today's webinar? We got a lot of idea what is the need of the fundamental classical Ayurveda. Don't go behind the modern system. We have our own system that you have mentioned that 20 point when your patients enter your clinic, how you want to properly, because I have a guru, you heard that Tirunavai was very famous for him. But before I am also with the 6 months experience with the Tirunavai Musa. He look only his first he's gone to the leg and nail and asking to only 2 questions and prescribe the medicine. Within 40 days, the case is 100% success. This is my experience. Why? That is experienced by that Vaidya. You bring that all the before this new generation. Don't go to the beyond the modern system. We have our own system, our own fundamental. You believe that and follow that, you will succeed. Thank you for your enlightenment, knowledge, and we recommended, sir, this type of the syllabus knowledge also we require in our future, because 70% of the modern medicine, 30% is in Ayurveda. That is the main problem we are facing in the present curriculum also. You want to ulta, sir, 70% Ayurveda, only 30%, 20% of modern medicine, 10% before of experience from your type of the Guruji. Then you see the difference of the Ayurveda, not in India, all over India, sir. So I humble request, please bring your knowledge into the present curriculum change. Now it is such transformations are going on to change our CCM syllabus, not the National New Council. So we definitely this type of the knowledge we can change the Ayurvedic system, sir. Thank you very much for your good class. Thank you.
You are having a great legacy of 100 years in your company. And I know that Kerala has a very rich legacy of the pure Ayurvedic treatment. And I am fond of your practices. I know I have many friends in Kerala and they are doing very good. And I am students of all of you. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So I thank all of the participants who are here with their wonderful questions. And next week, we're having another session. We are planning it with Dr. Jose Kumar, who is well-versed in both Ayurveda and new technological advances. So we will meet you there with a wonderful session again. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you very much.